A special object that protects its owner from troubles, shields the home, and brings happiness exists in every nation. Among the Kazakhs, the amulet is called tumar, which is a calque from the Arabic word for prayer. The form of the tumor in each case is dictated by its sacred properties. The triangle is the most common, the classical one, so to speak. Now, many items are produced in the shape of a tumor, including souvenirs. Here, manufacturers let their imagination run wild. Furthermore, products that tell the story of our country and are made by domestic craftsmen are now in trend. So, meet them. The production of souvenir products for the 25th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence. In general, the history of keychains goes back to ancient times. It is known that it was extremely fashionable in the 18th century and up until the second half of the 19th century. English dandies wore them on watch chains. Every self-respecting man had more than 10 keychains made of various materials, mostly gold, on his chain. Gradually, keychains, as jewelry, completely stopped being worn. In the 20th century, they began to be used practically only for one utilitarian purpose, as a pendant for a bunch of keys. But even in this capacity, the keychain remained popular with designers. Amulet keychains and souvenir keychains appeared. To create the most common souvenir product, the keychain, it would seem not much is needed, but in fact, it is exactly the opposite. The most important thing in this business is the idea. That's where it all starts. Since our ideas are created from scratch and refined, it takes time. We started thinking about products for the 25th anniversary 6 months in advance, so that they would be conceptual, creative, and at the same time reserved, so that this product could be used for gifts. With every quarter, I won't say with every year, we try to start earlier. With every quarter, we try to automate every process. We are working on this. Processes range from business processes to production processes, thereby increasing quality and increasing our production capacity. After the idea is approved, the designer begins to embody it on the computer screen. Now, new technologies make it easy to draw on a tablet exactly as you would on paper with a regular pencil. Instead of paper now, everything is technological. Instead of paper, we try to use electronic devices. Tablets, various graphics tools help us greatly with this. It's as if an artist is drawing on paper. There are no differences. The perception and the pressure are all calculated so that the designer or artist can feel as if everything is being done on a canvas or on paper. By the way, the process of creating a sketch and the finished product design can take from 2 weeks to several months. In our case, the inscription 25 years of independence of Kazakhstan was created in a fairly short time. Next, the drawing is converted into a so-called vector format and sent to the next workshop. Here, 2 machines come into play. The first of them is a laser cutter. Generally, almost all materials, regardless of hardness, can be cut with a laser. The wood from which the future tumor keychains are created is cut very quickly here. 5 minutes, and it's ready. All that remains is to apply the image to the keychain. Here, a laser marker comes into effect. There is a laser built inside, which is mechanized, meaning it is not manual engraving. We enter the task, the machine processes this task, we enter specific settings. Then the machine accepts these settings, and according to the specific settings, it performs the engraving of a specific size, specific depth, specific speed. The laser itself, if, let's say, it's a large object and large drawings or letters, then the speed, of course, can be high. If these are small objects, then of course the settings here are different. But the beam hits the material itself, the object itself, and burns it. The keychain is practically ready. All that remains is to add the necessary colored elements. That's what the designer intended. The painstaking work is done by hand. The final touch, and it's ready. This accessory is an indispensable item, and therefore it is in high demand. Another popular souvenir product is a regular postcard. It's hard to imagine a modern person who has never bought or received beautiful cards with wishes. Souvenir postcards made in Kazakhstan also introduce the national flavor of our country. First, they are informative. That is, they describe, if it is a holiday, for example, Sirga Salu, a tradition of putting on earrings. Right? This is our Kazakh tradition, which does not exist, for example, in Europe, if guests come from there. It is described in Kazakh, and there is a transcription in Latin so that a foreigner can read it correctly. And the execution itself, it's not just printed on paper and given away, meaning something that should give some value, perhaps, to this same piece of paper. There are a lot of detailed cutouts, some three-dimensional elements. The manufacturing process consists of several stages: design development, layout, selection of production technology, determination of the printing method, selection of manufacturing materials, and post-press processing. The quality of a postcard is determined by two components: design and paper. Since the postcard should bring joy to a person, remind them of a pleasant moment, both its appearance and how it feels to the touch should bring pleasure to the recipient. Therefore, graphic design is the most important aspect. After this, the image is sent for printing on an industrial laser printer, where 8 future postcards are obtained from one large sheet. Printing is done using digital equipment. Similar to photocopiers, laser printers use the xerographic printing process. However, the difference is that image formation occurs through direct illumination of the photosensitive elements of the printer by a laser beam. Printing is carried out with toner, which is a fine dispersed magnetic polymer that melts at a temperature of 200 degrees. The toner is poured into a toner cartridge, and thanks to the magnetic roller, which is located at the bottom of the cartridge, it is evenly distributed across it. Next, the technician operators fold the postcard and glue on the three-dimensional element. It was pre-made on a laser cutter. "20 minutes, and the postcard is ready." In recent years, the demand for goods reflecting the national identity of the Kazakh people has noticeably increased. Folk craftsmen, small enterprises, and large companies produce high-quality domestic products in large volumes. Therefore, the market for souvenirs made in Kazakhstan has become much more diverse